Hi, I'm Heidi Miller. In this how-to video, I'm going to take you step by step through the exercise called Jackknife. This exercise is an intermediate level exercise. Keep in mind this exercise has not been modified for somebody with a spine injury. If you have a spine injury, check out your local Pilates studio and work with somebody one-on-one. Let's get started. So for Jackknife, sometimes the hardest part is getting the initial lift of the hips off the mat. So I'm going to show you a couple props that you can use to begin with if you've never done this exercise before. I'm also going to talk about some safety precautions for the neck. So we never want to put weight on the neck. So I'm going to talk about the strength of where the arms and shoulders are. So when we're lying down to begin with, we want to feel like we can press, if possible, the wrist into the mat and the shoulders back, abdominals in, and the spine between the shoulder blades trying to get to the mat. The neck should be just neutral, where the chin is a little bit up, the back of the head feels flat, and I can keep the neck long. Depending on if you're a little tight or not, you might have to bring your chin down a little bit to lengthen the back of the neck. You just want the neck to be very long and pulling your ears away from your shoulders. Now, the arms are very important in pressing down in this movement, so you should feel your triceps working, and we try not to let the shoulders round forward. We try to keep them pulling back. Now, to get the hip lifts, you can either use a yoga block here to begin with. It's a little bit trickier to get your hips back down onto, but I kind of like it for some of my students. I just put the hips right on top of the yoga blocks. A lot of people have yoga blocks more than my next prop. So starting with the legs up, we find the strength of the arms, of course, abdominals in, and we squeeze the legs together. So we start to roll into our waist a little bit, and once we do, we lift the hips off, and once the hips are over, we want to make sure we're not on our neck, and we try to lift our thighs up to the ceiling. And then we roll back down with a lot of strength in the arms. So we try not to let the legs drop down, although I am bringing them towards me for counterbalance so I can keep the neck and shoulders strong. So ideally, eventually we keep the legs as piked up towards the ceiling as we can on the way down. But I think it's more important to keep your shoulders and neck safe and strong, knowing that your goal is to keep the legs stretching up. So with the yoga block again, let's do 3 more. So rolling back, using those triceps, and then rolling down with control. So exhale on the power here. So really using those arms and projecting my glutes and abs kind of my glutes to the ceiling, my abs in, but pushing everything up to the ceiling, okay? And then back down. Now I'm going to use the next prop here. It's a half foam roll. It can also be a whole foam roll. Okay, I just happen to have a half. What I like about the foam roll is that it allows you, if you're a little tight in your chest, to keep your arms a little wider than when you have them by your sides. The closer they are to your hips, the more your chest has to open to engage your triceps. So here you can have a little bit more width of the arms to keep your shoulders back. So this also gives you the same kind of lift here, but you might get a little higher up because your chest is more open. So we just roll back with inhale, exhale, power up. And then back down. So again, try not to let the weight go across your neck. Keep it across the tops of the shoulders. Really pressing down on that foam roll to project the hips up. 1 more here. And then back down. Now I'm just going to do a couple without any props. Okay, so if we do without props, it's a little bit more challenging to get that initial lift. So we try to let the lift happen by curling through that low spine. We try not to let the legs pull it back and lead. So we squeeze the legs, the movement starts in the spine, and then control down. Just 1 more here. Okay, so one last way that I like to show people how to do this, if they're, this is an intermediate level exercise, so it's not really for beginning level students. So when my students get to this level, they know not to, roll onto their neck. But sometimes we put our hands in front of our hips and we roll back to get that initial lift, and then we lift up and then we roll back up. That just gives you a nice sensation of lift. This is kind of similar to an exercise called boomerang. So that's just some ways to explore Jackknife, and so that'll be in your intermediate mat workout routine. Thank you for working through this how-to video with me. If you'd like to learn some other exercises, check out my other how-to videos, and if you'd like to apply these to workouts, check out my workout videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any other videos. Thank you so much and have a fabulous day.